CIA insider warned of Ebola false flag in September. Former case officer predicted outbreak in U.S. 2 weeks before Dallas case. Well, he said he was being told by sources, actually. He joins us tomorrow, live, on the Tuesday, 7th of October, 2014 transmission. And again, he came highly recommended from Colonel Schaefer. He said, we don't know what's really going on. Interview this guy. He's out of the government. And he just came on and just false flag at the Boston bombing, false flag at Sandy Hook, which we already know, but he was detailing it. And they're going, and the word he's getting is they're going to launch a Ebola simulant false flag. And then 3 weeks later it happens. Just unbelievable. So he'll be joining us tomorrow. And the reason you're seeing more of this is people in the government are done playing games. I'm going to say this again. The chairman of the Joint Chiefs, who I'm not lionizing, but he did it, last year went to Obama and said there's going to be a mutiny in the military. We're not going to openly back al-Qaeda against Syria. Don't do it. The British military went this weekend to Parliament, their chairman of the Joint Chiefs, their heads, and said, do not fund radical Islam anymore. Okay, we're done. The public knows about it. We don't want to be part of it. No. See, there's an open decloaking happening right now where the establishment is basically raising its skirt and showing us what's under there, trying to sell us on the fact that it's apple pie, and it isn't. It's a dead horse, basically. People don't want this. People don't want to openly join with evil. As corrupt as the West is, but the sickos that run things just really have a desire to do this. And all they're going to get is big trigger events against them. The harder they push, the more pushback they're going to get. It doesn't matter if they've got half the public drooling, talking about their favorite sitcom or sports center. It doesn't matter. If you've got 10% of the public knows what's going on, it's game over. We've got way past that. We got it where it counts. People are sick of it. Wild man in Texas, go ahead and finish your point up about Ebola.
Yes, sir. As I was saying, I was watching Paul Joseph Watson and David Knight last week, and they also said that somebody had warned or said that it would hit the United States in October. And I don't remember how that was, but at any rate, on the other side of that coin, I'm thinking with the borders being open and now all the airlines coming in here and everything else, you don't get some of them nutbags over there, ISIS, contracting the disease and just sending it over here as another way to get it. Well, that's what people have been saying for months, and Geraldo Rivera said it's racist if you say that. No, that's what's going on. And undoubtedly, you've got these countries collapsing now, so they're going to have people like this guy that came here with Ebola trying to get here. And Obama and the CDC's answer is, no, we're not going to stop those flights. So they are directly to blame when it happens, and they are going to be held accountable. I thank you so much for your call. Truth Raider in Oregon, you're on the air.
Hello, my friend Alex. I have to say I apologize. And why I say that is because, I know you don't like to be thanked. But thank you for putting me up on your YouTube channel. I sure took a terrific amount of heat, but it was well worth it.
Okay, man, that's great. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, this is it. This is I predicted the Ebola outbreak coming in the fall. But this is why they're doing it. It's a dirty 4-letter F word called fear. Fear. It's exactly what they want people to be, is unsafe, feeling of insecure, and in fear.
That's right. So while they rob the Treasury and overturn the Constitution Bill of Rights, we're busy worried about Ebola. Great point. Let's talk to another caller here now. Let's talk to Shane in Pennsylvania. You're on the air.
Hello, Alex.
Yes.
I love you, brother. Quick question, quick comment. You've been doing this a long time. You're pretty good at reading in between the lines and stuff. What's your opinion on the Ebola, Alex? Do you think, really, do you think false flag or do you think red flag?
Undoubtedly, they have souped up Ebola at labs that the West has over there that we know they admittedly have. They've released it right on time as Monsanto and others are getting their Ebola vaccine ready with Bill and Melinda Gates. And bare minimum, they've opened the door to bring in the patients and let people fly in, hoping it spreads, thinking we're so dumb that the ruling class won't get in trouble for what they've clearly done. So if you knew that a grizzly bear was killing everybody that tried to camp out at a certain spot, and you took your little kids out there and chained them up to a tree at night, you would be an accomplice to their death, and it'd be murder one, premeditated murder. And so by opening the borders up, by letting the flights come in, by not hazmating anything for days, they are aiding and abetting this at the CDC. So it is a false flag. Whether they made the crisis or opened the door for it, they aren't letting it go to waste. They are aiding and abetting it, and so they are murder one. They are murder one. When Americans die from this, they are murder one. And it is economic sabotage against industry. The globalists are going to make a bunch of money out of the response to it. It's just a new war that they can manage like a black hole and feed our tax money into.
I agree.
Just like lawyers will have a divorce going and will drain both sides in it. It's just like the Rothschilds would fund both sides of a war. The globalists manipulate people off against each other, divide and conquer, and it's what's happening right now. What do you think's behind it?
Well, I think it's a false flag, but I don't know. Earlier you had mentioned about a big pharma grab for money, vaccine thing. I'm thinking maybe that's the route they're going.
Well, they always allow something to happen or actually orchestrate it if it helps them on a bunch of fronts. And this will bring in medical tyranny, hundreds of billions in vaccine sales of the next decade, big political diversion, expansion of Obamacare as a federalized FEMA. It just helps them on so many fronts if they can politically get away with it. And they don't care even if we impeach Obama over it. So what? The special interests will get what they want. Again, Boehner won't repeal Obamacare. We put up with that. Why not bring Ebola in here? Thank you so much for the call. Lab Rat in Virginia, you're on the air.
Alex, it's really good to talk to you again. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. Good to talk to you, brother.
Outstanding. Listen, I got a couple things, and I got a DNA, so I'll finish up with the DNA, whatever, I forget what the DNA Force super story for you. But I absolutely agree 100%. My sister is she's a studying epidemiologist, and she's done internships and friends with the CDC. Their protocols are absolutely 100% being ignored. Everyone from Dew to Biggs to every single one of your excellent reporters knows that. Look at the quotes that you guys were putting out ahead of time from the World Health Organization and the CDC. They were absolutely apocalyptic. This is going to end the world. I mean, the CDC was losing their hair over this thing. It gets to Dallas, don't worry about it. It's going to be, don't forget about it. It's fine. We got this. We're good. Oh, really? You're good? Go to everybody call your local hospital. Ask to speak to the head nurse. Ask them how many negative pressure rooms they have available, how many beds they've got in negative pressure rooms, because that's what it's going to take when somebody's spewing blood and vomit and feces all over from every orifice. We are not ready, but I agree with you. This is 100%, like everything else, a stand down. I ask your guy tomorrow. This is just a simulation, and they are studying you as much as or more than anybody else because you are at the tip of the spear. You've said it yourself. They want to see who's going to buy what, how the alternative press is going to handle this, how the liberty movement's going to handle it, how the zombies and the sleepers are going to handle it, how the, quote, useless eaters are going to how everybody. This is a study en masse, and they may, you're right, let a few 100,000 go. That's the sad part. But what's
they are wargaming, just like they admit they did with H1N1 that was a simulant, that came out that was a simulant. They are wargaming how we'll respond to a mega pandemic in the future. And this could be a simulant, but it's killing a lot of people in Africa, so whatever it is, it's lethal. Great points. Good to hear from you. I'm going to continue with calls, but right now I want to cover this article. And guys, will you print me a copy of it? Some of the new stories that have broke. Thanks a lot. CIA insider warned of Ebola false flag in September. Former case officer predicted outbreak in U.S. 2 weeks before Dallas case. Former CIA insider Robert David Steele warned during a September 18th appearance on the Alex Jones show that a staged Ebola false flag attack was on the horizon 2 weeks before the first case was confirmed in the United States. We need to add the point that he said he's been told by sources. He's not just speculating. He says he's been told. He's hearing. That's key. Steele, who is now an author and lecturer, previously worked for the Central Intelligence Agency as a clandestine services case officer and also ran as a presidential candidate at the Reform Party. They will have another false flag. In fact, that false flag I'm hearing about is a simulated Ebola attack in which they actually use biochemical weapons that dissipate. But then they pretend that it's Ebola and that it has been brought here by Saudi martyrs, said Steele, adding, "We have not reached the end of the false flag line." Still elaborated by warning that the chaos created by a false flag attack could lead to a general strike across America. Steele's